Hello everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is sad day and you guys are super cool. So yeah, uh, today I'm going to share you experience. You can say a crazy experience, or you can say very difficult one, or whatever called. So it is my trekking experience. So I was living in Mumbai for 1 year from 2018 to 2019. So that period of time, I love trekking. So I went for one of the trekking places called as Prabal. So what happened was, it was Friday night where my shift starts, and myself and two of my friends planned to go to the trekking spot the next day morning. So after our shift. So we traveled via train to Panvel, and from Panvel you have to take a bus, which is 2 hours from there, and it's a village, small village. We reached there, we got down, and we started walking. It's a small village wherein you can see houses, and after that you can see a small narrow path where you can start your trekking from that point. So once you have started, you can see on my left there was a person forest people who were sitting. You have to give the names and all those things. Why? Because you have to be back before 6, and it's very dangerous to truck there. And it is a rainy season, so think about the scenario over there. So I started walking. So left and right was completely dense forest, and it was a narrow path. I was enjoying, and I was going, and suddenly there was a small waterfalls on my left. So I started playing, and two of my friends started chalo. It's there ho rahe hain, chalo. I was like, okay, fine, let's go because I have to come back again by 6. Yeah, I have to finish my truck. So we started our truck, and it was an inclined plane, zigzag. I have to walk, and I reached a plateau region. And it was a tourist spot. People were taking photos, and they were eating, all shelves and everything, all the crazy things, whatever we do in tourist spot and viewpoint, all the things were going there. And I said, okay, fine, trekking over, chalo, chalte hain ghar pe. No, 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 it's going to start now. I was like, no, I cannot, because I'm already tired, and we finished our shift and we are coming to, to do a truck. I said, no, I cannot come. Okay, you have only few mile distance. You can climb, and will come down. My friends, made me to. They compromise. I compromised myself. Okay, chalo, chalte. So we took one left. We took one right, and we went. Suddenly we saw one hut, and I was so tired, so I want to have chai. So I went inside. I had chai, and my friends had this Maggie and all corns and everything. So we came out, and I was standing. It's a hut, so there was one wooden rod, to in the middle of the hut. So I was holding and standing. People were standing like this and watching. Ajao, bahar ajao. I was like, why? What we did? And people were so nervous. I don't know what is happening. Myself and my friends were standing like this, and people were, chalo ajao, bahar ajao. I don't know what happened. Okay, then we went out, and we turned, and we saw there was one viper hanging there. I was literally shocked and surprised to see the viper. Then the forest people came there and took the viper, and it went. Nothing happened to anyone. So again, you have to climb one steps. So when you climb that steps, there will be two paths. One is for the other mountain trekking. I don't know what is the place of that. I mean the mountain name. If you go there, it is very slippery, so you cannot go. So we cancelled that, and we went to Prabalgarh, which is on my right. So I turned right, and I stopped suddenly. I said, I cannot climb more than this. Why? Because it is a waterfalls. I have to climb the waterfalls. That's my, the target that day. I said, नहीं 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 मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा चलो मैं चलते इधर से you guys go and come. My friends were like, so I'm very determined and never giving up person. So my friends started stating that, okay, fine, you don't have to come. They all used all my positive words into negative and made me somehow to climb. They said, once you climb this, that's all, the trekking is finished, then we can come down. वापस आ रहे. Okay, fine. I started climbing. Somehow I made myself. So I have a curious that, what is there on top? Maybe nothing, or maybe something, or I don't know, but I have to climb. That is what going on my mind. So it is raining, and the water is flowing very, very fast. You have to be very careful. Literally, the water is splashing on my eyes. I don't know what to do. And if I see on my left side, there is a street. If you fall down, RIP. Simple. So yeah, I started climbing. Then what happened? You have to keep your palms down. Why? Because it is very slippery. You have to be very careful while you are climbing that. So I finished, and I said, okay, fine, ho gaya, chalo, chalte. No, they said, no, 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 you have to go further more. I said, no, chalo. Again, they all made me somehow to walk, and I started walking. After some few miles, I saw it is a dense forest, complete dense forest. I can hear on it is the best experience which I had, the musical one. Why? Because the nature music is wonderful than what we are doing here now. I mean, the music, whatever you listen to. So I walked in, and complete dense forest left and right. What I did was I placed my friends, one of my friend on the front and one on back. In case if something attacked, they'll be attacked first, not me. So yeah, I started walking, and I can hear only the raindrop sound and the bird sound. You will never hear those type of birds here, but if you go to those locations, yes, you will. I can hear only bird sound and the waterfalls, and you can on the path you can see there is a stream of water flowing. It's a waterfalls again, so I can see lots of water. So I walked in, walked in, walked in, and there was a region wherein complete grass. It was very clear, and if you guys have played this Assassin's Creed and everything, I don't remember the part. There you can see a complete grass covered with clouds. So that was my scenario. That was the best experience. Why? Because I was with clouds again. This is my one of my dream come true. Why? Because from my childhood I love nature. I want to be with nature. I want to play with nature, talk with nature. The craziest moment in my life. So I sat there for. So it is completely covered with clouds, so you don't know the edge of the mountain too. You cannot see anything, just the clouds, and it's moving here and there, that's all. So you have to be very careful while you keep one step forward. Okay, so I enjoyed there. I finished, and then we came back again. I have to come back through waterfalls. So I came down, and my friend stopped me and just said to look at me, look back. I said, why? Just look back and see. See, yeah, I just learned a lesson that day. Why? Because when you turn up, and I saw nearly 4,800 feet I have climbed that day. I just I just have okay. Uh, I had a moral to that story. Why? Because life is a truck again. You know what is the obstacle you are climbing, but you never know how you came down. That's what happened there. And I follow until now, and I struggle a lot. I know my struggle. And I remember one thing, that when I come down again, I have to reach to the top. Uh, it should be higher than the previous one. So that's what I keep always focusing and following in my life. So please do trekking, enjoy trekking, and happy adventuring. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be amidst all of you. I am K Sharma, 83 years old, and I have been writing for last 65 years. I started composing when I was in college, and due to my workload, I stopped writing for 40 years. After 40 years break, after my retirement, I got again involved in writing. I have written about 25 books so far. One published is Snippets of Wisdom, which was published about 3 years ago, and I'm in the process of trying to get others published also. So I will just, some extracts from the books I've which I have penned, I have taken out. I'll read it out to you. This is from Mild Whisper is the name of the book. A will to succeed always drives a man to achieve a goal, and those who accept failures as inevitable are always left behind. Do not feel degraded for the mistakes committed, and endeavor to learn from the gains by avoiding them. Trust is a parameter to judge a man's true character, and any wrong judgment diminishes its basement. Do not harness your desires to seek for the impossible. Factually, limitations alone is the key word for them to be achieved. Only the grassroots level marks the beginning of your efforts. From there, progress increases in rapid progression. Quench the thirst before it parches your throat. As for parched throat sees nothing beyond thirst. Well-being is not just being well enough, but being well in the inner core of the mind, which alone monitors the intensity of the wellness. When you emerge from the dark shadows of adversity, you enter the realm of positivity. It recharges the infrastructure of uncertainties to remodel the thought process to function in an unorganized way. Handle all the situations on the desired merits, as each situation needs its own merited attention. Actions taken in the heat of the moment spells danger, and the outcome of this aggression only just blanks reasoning. Those whose pastime is always to ridicule others get distanced and eventually ungracefully disappear from the encircle of nearness. It is a common nuance that to repair any damaged cause is a Herculean task. Sadly, even after repairs, cracks caused remain quite visible. It is the hardcore reality that an unwanted oppression can easily be retaliated by silent aggression, the fury of which always acts as a leveler. A seasoned and relevant advice is that swallow no pill that is bitter, as the taste can be repulsive enough to make you realize the mistake. Do not clamor for more when more is not available. Factually, more becomes available only when you stop to clamor. When cornered in a maze due to disdaining circumstances, it is time to realize that an unknown element springs in a surprise quite surprisingly, to unriddle the situation. Situations have their own uncanny knack of sizing up accordingly. Otherwise, they always have other option to just become chaotic. And now I'll read from a book which I've written. It's known, Is It Love? I'll read some relevant which has. Is it love when you walk lonely in pouring rain and in lashing storms, just unmindful of its intensity? Is it love when you hear soothing music in your surround, in your, Is it love when you hear soothing music on your surround, in your encircle of loneliness? Is it love when your thoughts are craving for nearness of someone and it begins to haunt you night and day? Is it love when you become distanced from aroma of proximity and still remain close with someone? Is it love when you are obsessed in a world of fantasy and nothing else interests you anymore? Is it love when you pledge to keep all your promises made and land up keeping none? Is it love when you start to err in every action you take without any justified reasons? Is it love when, for just no rhyme or reason, tears begin to flow from your eyes? Is it love when nothing interests you? Is it love when, amidst noise of loudspeakers, you hear just nothing with your attention focused on someone? Is it love when you start to talk incoherently without even realizing what you wish to really convey? Is it love when you forget to follow the route to your destination where you wish to reach finally? I thank you all for giving a patient listening.
Good evening. So I was 3 years when I first entered this white and yellow building with black gates. There was this big basketball court, and அப்படியே போக போக I saw this playpen and ஒரு பெரிய basketball court. அப்படியே வாயை பொளந்துட்டு நின்னுட்டேன். That's where I realized that this building is going to turn to be my second home, the place where I would spend the rest of my best years of my life. So pre-KGR, where do I start from? My parents let go of my hand, and knowingly or unknowingly, that's where my life started to begin independently. Looking at all new faces, not knowing where to sit, I took the cornermost seat, staying very silent. I never talked to anyone, but I just made two friends, and I just made two friends, and I remember not talking to anybody. I had that much of fear, and I never wanted to go to school. Fortunately, my sister was also in the same school. So once what happened was I was called through the intercom thrice to the principal's office. I was clueless. I was wondering, why are they even calling me to the principal's office? So I was taken to the principal's office. I was in UKG, I guess. So I was taken to the principal's office. I was asked by the principal, do you know what even happened? I was so clueless. I was staring back at her. I was sitting so quietly. The principal just said, your sister had beaten up a guy in her class. Do you even know what? I was so clueless. I was like, what even? Why are they even calling me here? So In UKG, that was the that should not happen to someone who is very clueless. So, moving on, I was not knowingly or unknowingly, I entered the fourth grade. The 7 best years of my school life had begun there. Again, I was very quiet. I used to be this very silent girl, but fortunately, I made two very close friends. We used to be called the girly girls of the class by our teachers. Uh, During my school years, like till my 12th grade, I was asked by teachers, நீ எதுக்குமா ஸ்கூலுக்கு வர பாதிலே வந்துட்டு பாதிலே போற. I used to run home if I feel sleepy or I feel sick. I used to give letter and run home. So in 10th standard, when the board exams were happening and teachers and parents were pressurized, uh, the subject which I suck at, math, was happening. So the pre-board was happening, and the guy sitting behind me was asking me for my answer paper. I was totally unprepared. I didn't even study for the paper. The guy sitting behind me asked to pass the paper beneath the bench. I told him I was not prepared. I handed over him the answer paper. The paper was really blank. He கேவலமா பார்த்துட்டு he returned me back the paper. So what often feels like the end is just the beginning, and I really felt this. The last years of school the last years of school turned out to be my best memories, because that's when I started I started coming out of my shell and started talking to people. And that's the stage when I made some really good friends who have been through my thick and thin always. So the last day I walked out of that yellow and the building with yellow and white walls with black gates, with a heavy heart and with lots of memories. I stand here and I'm proud that I am once a PSBBN, always a PSBBN. Thank you.
If you look at the girl in this picture, in a hospitalized, are you looking at the picture? Yeah, okay, so you're able to view it well, or? Okay, thankfully. So if you look at the girl in this picture, in a hospitalized state, yet with a smile on her sweet, tender visage. She seems to be on a book trip, a life support at a very wobbly moment between life and death. This is the story of the girl who got saved by books. If you're wondering, what a sweet thing, why then a terrible plight? She was tossed up by the crudest time of her life. But you must know that she wasn't always in such a pitiful state. Her life began just like anybody else's, where she was brought up by a family true to the name. She went through childhood, adolescence, and even early adulthood in almost the same fashion as the model set up by the rest of the world. Though there is this, she might have had to face her own share of inopportune moments, backhanded turns, and ill fate slaying through many a moment ripe with hope. That did never stop her from traversing the path made for her. She kept true to her journey without the conscious need for a return from it. This innate modesty perhaps spooked the Creator, for he put a dream in her. From that moment on, she was hooked to the dream within her. Every waking moment of hers was spent towards the realization of it. A dream she deemed had never been dreamt before. Her dream was set in a land of paradise where artists, inventors, revolutionists, and thinkers came to live. It was Paris. She wanted the typical aristocratic life of a Parisian, well on a path of style and intellect. She built up a shrine for Paris in her heart and strived hard in each and every instance in hopes of getting across the seas and mountains to the most desirable destination. She did crack it eventually, an explorative voyage to the city whose very motto is tossed by waves but never sunk. As one can imagine what a wonder it is to be at the right place in the right time, she was right in that spot. Good fate had finally taken a turn on her. For her part, she couldn't believe that she had finally achieved it. All the toil that would launch her off had been nothing short of a tedious setting for life. Whilst she was dazed by the taste of goodness for the first time in her life, her title aspiration was thwarted and she was thrown out of the destination for unforeseen circumstances. She didn't instantly take to the devastation, as one might imagine. She was still in a daze from what was blossoming in Paris. This was right when she got intertwined in a romantic plot as well. Her senses were completely clouded by a fallacy of love. She didn't mind a thing until one day all her hollow projections came crashing down on her. Obviously, then, she partook in her dismal failure at love and life. Alas, her story had come to a tragic conclusion. She fell into depression and got sucked into utter darkness for a while. All hope had vanished, and before the will to live could completely vanish too, something happened. She got into reading. Slowly, and I mean tiresomely slowly, she inched forward towards life from a dead end. Every book taught her something. In doing so, it left a little bit of will to live. All the heroes she came to read about in this phase of life said one thing in unison: salvage yourself by reading. So the book thief instilled in her the idea that words are life. And the alchemist to her felt as a holy grail, holy Bible for dreamers even. And the perks of being a wallflower taught her that reading gives you a second life, no matter what the sickness of your first life had been. And Matilda spoke of the virtue of books to transform any life. And finally, Dare to Win literally said to her, "How dare you think that you're the one and only to go through all these terrible turns in life?" And so she turned her life around. Otherwise, fate would have had her clawing at the walls and turning mad. Books are especially kind to the lives of those who are forsaken by luck. This story is nothing but a short autobiographical account of my life, and the girl is me. Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to perform some prompt poetries. So the first prompt is going to be the middle of the night. So let's see how it goes. In the middle of the night, as the clock struck 12, inner soul rumbled, recalling plight of past for the pain made it to dwell. Immersed in ocean of bittersweet memories, lifting spirits, rekindling stars at the same time, stealing away sleep yet with dainty ease. For its translucent, scant gleam of joy, yet hazy for a lifetime. A wobbly head filled with noise, loneliness beating its booming drum, embracing which I held a pen with poise, curing agony and state of being numb. Combination of words with a rhythm of every chunk of emotions, perfect it was, as a bandage to a bruise, it is what I fathom, poetry playing on my heartstrings for a good cause. So, next is going to be the prompt of endless musings. So I have written a poem to solitude. Endless musings, for I trust them, paving path to spot the important, savior to heart that is reluctant. Or sluggish act as world condemn, whiling away time, haunting empty rooms, arousing gloomy memories the mind presumes. Perhaps it's not. Heal to my betrayed heart, forgetting quick, harsh words that tore it apart. Sick of solicitude, fearing love, aversion of human, for joy, peace, positivity to boom in. Compile the soul that introspected on mid Saturday, embracing solitude, hoping better tomorrow, not another Sunday. So, a soul searching for solitude, a spectacular state. So, next, two more quick poems. So, one poem I've named it as Game Changer. So, just to set a tone of the poem, there'll be a specific point in your life, right, where you realize how much worthy as a person you are, apart from all the insecurities or the doubts that people around you or the society is dumping over you. So this poetry was written exactly at one of my major emotional breakdown, when I realized how much worthy and deserving as a person I am, and I don't need any external validation to make me believe so. So here's how the poetry goes. To fear thorns over the way, or to stop and smell the roses. To whine over rugged mountain climb, or to reach the pinnacle starting to get a startling view. To be a sunshine with an euphoric smile, or a darkling which isn't worth your while. To collapse between broken pieces, or rise taking valiant paces. You are a game changer, you are a lifesaver. The choice is in your hands. Yes, darling, that's how you realize the art of beholding you. So that's what I would say. The choice is always in our hands to go to a path or to just stand in a place where you exactly stand in. So, all that we can do in this harsh world is to hold on to positivity, hold on to the belief that you are enough for yourself, and you are confident enough to do or accomplish any kind of thing that you do. And there's a human tendency where we crave external validations, right? Even from our parents or from a partner or from our friends or the society as a whole. But it is definitely a fallacy or just an illusion which will satisfy you for just a little bit of time or temporarily, but it is never going to make your soul happy. So instead of searching validation from somebody else or somebody in other place, search it within your own self. That is what we need to do. And searching validation within yourself is of ceaseless importance, and that would take us heights, is what I would like to tell you all. So one more last piece. This is something that I wrote, again in a middle of a night where I couldn't sleep and there was a lot of thoughts running in our head. So generally we tend to overthink a lot during nights, right? All the problems in the world will come to your mind only at the night time. So this poetry was also something of that sort when I couldn't sleep and I just wanted to write away my pain. So let's see how it goes. Time has made us fall apart, too far that we don't even remember each other's existence. After a series of intense blame game, yet resulting in zero conclusions, I'm simply tired of everyone and everything. Solitude is all that I crave for, happiness is all that I search for, and tranquility is all that I fight for. Amidst all these chaos and bruises, there is still something that I cherish. And you know what that is? Those are our indelible memories. So, the places, the people are always temporary, but the memories which we have with them is definitely going to be forever etched in our heart. So, it may sound a little bit selfish or rude, but just don't stick to the word forever and go behind the word whenever. And when you have the people, when you have the places, just vibe with them, but don't think anything is going to come forever, and just go behind the flow. And that's how you need not consider people or places to be toxic as such. Just see them for a temporary phase, and forever it's going to be you with yourself. So enjoy the people, enjoy the places, enjoy the moments which is going to come with you throughout, and not just feel stuck in a place where you are right now. So thank you on that note.
Hi, this is Maithreyi. Sorry for everybody who had plans to leave early. So first of all, Sharma sir, you remind a lot about my grandfather, and I think today I stepped up to perform after seeing. I was here to cheer up support my sister. I was in no plans to actually perform, but you're a great inspiration. I'm really happy to have met you, so thanks for that. Yeah. So I lost him a year back. So it was really nice meeting you today. So this piece is it's neither a poem nor a story, but here it goes. How do you process grief? How do you know you're ready to let go of a person, or how do you know this is the last time you're saying goodbye, or this is the last time you see the person just walk away from you, or this is the last hug, or this is the last time you are saying a word to them. You never really know what tomorrow dawns upon you, or how your little world will collapse or change, for that matter, when this person is not with you. We are always held in disdain for being prisoners of our own emotions. We are always taught how to we are always told to be very ready for these kind of situations, but in reality you'll never be able to accept whatever happens. You're always told to accept tough situations, but they never tell you how to process it. You are unassumingly, you have to show bravery and concede any signs of weakness, but they never teach you how to heal from these. You're always put in a situation, all of us are put in situations where there is a dire need that comes out for us to emerge victorious from such situations. But when you sink, when you are held captive of your emotions, people tend to see that as a sign of weakness. But who defines weakness for us? How can someone put a limit on how much is there for you to handle? Or do we have experiences where our parents teach us how to handle such emotions? I don't think in India we have that situation where parents sit down the youth or their children of this generation to talk about various harsh realities of life. We don't discuss sex. We don't discuss mental health illness. We don't discuss so many things which are of paramount importance. But everything starts from home. Everything starts from where you are grown up in a surrounding where where if there is a lot of positivity and you're taught how to fail and accept failure, the way you approach failure outside your homes are completely different from a person who's always taught to win, or always told to win rather. And even a little bit of failure in his life is never, in his or her life, is never taken with the grace that the person should handle with. So there's a lot that comes from your home, your upbringings. And I would like to say we are all prisoners of our emotions. We all are, we are held captive in various emotions. It can be your happiness, it can be your sadness, and it can be various other things that happen to us. But do not limit the way you see or approach a situation, because people who talk about us are not going to live the situation. So I'm just going to end my narration saying that you are the person who should decide how much you're able to handle and how much you're able to if you think you're succumbing to something that you're not able to hold together, probably succumb to the situation, wallow over your sadness. But when you pick up yourself, I think you should pick it up like it never happened. So thank you so much.